Our next speaker is, oh, I'm double wired, aren't I? Sorry. Is Julie Bond, who is with the Center for Urban Transportation Research at the University of South Florida in Tampa, also known as Cutter. For those of you who aren't familiar, Cutter actually has a very good national reputation for doing a lot of research on transportation issues in general, and particularly bicycle and pedestrian research. And they also staff FDOT's Bicycle and Pedestrian Safety Coalition. So we really appreciate a lot of work that they do. She serves as program manager for several bicycle and pedestrian education and outreach projects and is co-director of the New North Transportation Alliance. Julie worked for the Utah Transit Authority in Salt Lake City, where she effectively created and marketed various TDM programs with an emphasis on bicycle and pedestrian commuting and employer transit programs. She rides her bicycle for errands, exercises, and occasionally for her work commute. Julie, thank you.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. If you need to stand up and stretch, feel free to. It's been a couple hours since lunch. So it's a pleasure to be here with you today. I am a senior researcher at Cutter. Has anyone heard of Cutter? Okay, quite a few of you. And I'm just one of over 100 employees, and so we do all types of different research. And many of you have heard of the Alert Today, Alive Tomorrow program that Billy talked about. I'm not going to talk about that today. I work with the Transportation Demand Management Group, and so we work on a lot of bike, ped, anything other than driving your car, van pooling, carpooling, transit, that type of research. So I chose two of my programs that I'm going to talk to you about today, so we're going to kind of change gears from what has been talked about. So I hope you enjoy this. I'm going to ask for a little bit of an interaction, so get ready. That's a photo of a mayor's bike to work ride we took in Temple Terrace, and Tom's here from Temple Terrace, one of my neighbors. I live in Temple Terrace also. And so let's see, we did it in, when did we do it, Karen? May? Yeah, May. We didn't do it in March, we did it in May, but we asked the Temple Terrace mayor if he would ride, and it's surprising if you ask, sometimes they will do a ride. City got together, we had a great day, we all had t-shirts on. It really brought the community together, and so it was a really great event. Okay, today I just chose two programs I'm going to talk to you about. One is a social marketing formative research project. This is not to be confused with social media. It's actually a methodical way to look at an issue and then look at the behavior that's happening, which it's on Fletcher Avenue. How many of you have driven down Fletcher Avenue in Tampa? Oh, a lot of you. Okay. It's a complete street now. It's almost finished, so there's some major changes since you were on there last. You don't want to drive on it anyway?
Hard to believe that.
Well, I'll show you some photos. And so I'm going to talk about a project we're doing that deals with the people we're talking about. I heard someone mention, why are we doing this? And it's about you. It's about people. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about our Walkwise and Bike Smart program, which is going statewide. So I'll talk a little bit about that. Okay, so I'm going to ask you to participate. Okay, so look at these, and we'll have a couple people just shout out. Look at these photos. I hope you can see them. I want you to just tell me what you see when you look at this photo. Okay, what am I hearing? What did you say? Cycling the wrong way? Any? Salmon. Okay. Anyone else?
Signs don't do it.
The signs don't do it, because can you see from here there's a wrong way? Okay, does anyone else have something different? Signs very high. Yeah. Driveways. Okay, good. Okay, we're going to look at another one. Okay, what do you see on this photo? Just feel free to shout out. Obstruction? No consideration. The bike lane and the sidewalk are blocked. Okay, what was the other one? Okay. Okay. It's a bike lane. Yeah. Yeah, there's a detour. There are some markings on it. This is the new complete streets. Yeah, from the photo, maybe if I stood back a little bit. Yeah, sorry. It is a bike lane. I'm not sure of the width on that bike lane, but it is a bike lane.
No crossing if people want to use the sidewalk on the other side of the street.
Okay, good. Okay. Any other thoughts when you look at it?
It's the way we mostly detour sidewalk projects.
Okay, good. The way we mostly detour sidewalk projects. Okay? That's a big truck on that sidewalk, isn't it? Okay, what do you see in this photo? I feel like I'm in your way. Poster obstructing the sidewalk? Confusion. When you everybody's saying confusion. Okay. What did you have something else? You're confused too. Okay. Okay. Covering the crosswalk. Okay. You know, that's just a driveway on each side.
That's a curb cut, continuous drive.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. What do we see here? Some very stressed out people when they look at that. Scary, scary. Okay. I'm sorry, what did you say? You've seen this kind of thing, so you're going, okay, I've seen it. Anything else? Any other thoughts? Scary. Okay, that seems like everyone's scared. No curb cuts. Yep, she did. We took all these pictures, so I did see these things happening. Okay, I just have a couple more. What do we see? Here's a cyclist. Somebody riding a bike. What did you say?
Well, I'm not sure if there's a crosswalk or not. I don't think there is. But
Yeah, there's a crosswalk way over there by the car.
Very wide street.
Very wide street, okay. Anyone else have something else they see?
are they bicycling in the wrong direction?
Wrong direction? Or, yes, okay, good. And then what about this one? An obstacle course?
Too narrow.
Too narrow? What about this side of the room? Anything over here? To what? ADA compliance. Okay, there we go. That's a good one. Okay. Tripping hazard. Okay. Okay, and then those were all Fletcher Avenue, the complete streets, almost finished, that I just showed you, all those photos from a brand new complete street design. Hillsborough County, not FDOT. So it's a county street. Someone mentioned about how all the crashes were, or more crashes were on county local streets. Fletcher is one of the high crash corridors. The Tampa Bay area is on the dangerous by design. The topic of this session is, can we change our reputation? So this is what's going on one of the streets that's a high crash corridor, and that's why we're trying to figure out how to solve this, because now it's a complete street, right? What do we do? It's done, it's perfect, right? Well, no, once we make a complete street, there's some other things we have to think about. This is on Fowler. What do you see here? Bike lane disappears. Has anyone ridden here? It's McKinley and Fowler by DOT headquarters. Tom, what do you see here? Do you ride on that road? Okay, so I just switched over to this because these are actually FDOT people, not Stephen. You were not there when we took this. This was 5 years ago, and we did a Bike Smart class, Jason and I, who's here. He's in the photo. We took them on a ride after we did the class, and we went from their offices on McKinley down, turned on Fowler. We only did a little block. We came back, and none of them ever would go with me again. I don't know. I've invited them, and no one will go. So it might have been the huge truck that when we turned on what is White Way, it's called something else, tried to actually run us all off the road, tried to push us over because it's a road with no bike lanes, so we sort of took the lane. And this huge truck really literally tried to run us off. And a lot of these people had not been on bikes for a couple of years or more. So, we took them out. They had a different opinion when they got back, but they still won't ride with me. I ride on this road a lot. And actually, if you take the lane right here and you go and you get on Fowler and get in the bike lane, it's not that bad. It looks worse than it is. A lot of trucks, though, coming out of the Coke factory. Okay, so why did I do this? My formative research, it's in their shoes. Now, I didn't hear, the first part we got the salmon comments. Maybe someone else looking at might say, what do I see there? I see a person trying to get to work, doing the best they can. It's their only mode of transportation. You might look at the person in the wheelchair and say, wow, this person has been blocked, in all these areas and can't fit through. I see a person trying to move around their neighborhood, but they can't. So everyone's opinion is different when I show them these photos. So that's why we're doing this formative research, because we're trying to figure out why they're doing these things. You know, everyone here kind of had a different opinion. Maybe some thought it was scary, but why are these people? Why do they have this behavior? How can we look at it and figure out how to change it so they don't get killed or injured on Fletcher anymore? So that's part of the research project. So in their shoes. Now, this is a group of students. They're going to see this differently than all of you, right? So they're going to look at it and see things differently. So we give presentations. We've given over 1,600 to different groups of people. And Jason, who is here, he is the main presenter. We listen to everyone. So just to give you a taste of what we do, we go to students. That's Pinellas Hope, the homeless shelter in Pinellas County. We go there. And how many of you have been hit by a car as a pedestrian or a cyclist? A lot of you. Okay. Well, when we go to the homeless shelters, all the hands go up. All of them have been hit as a pedestrian or as a cyclist. I mean, right, Jason? It's a huge amount that have been hit. So they have a different, they're seeing it differently than we are as planners. So these are the people we meet. This is a group of citizens who wanted to come out. We give them all our Walkwise bags. So they have a reflective bag, and we give them bike lights, and we put their lights on their bikes. This is a group of Middleton High School students who were taking the pledges Jason was presenting. Their viewpoint might have been different. Two students there got hit. One died. How many, 2 weeks before this presentation, maybe, Jason? Died, so they called us out to give these presentations. So what do you think happened that same day after the presentation? It's on Hillsborough Avenue. Many of them still darted out and crossed, and even after their fellow student, two sisters, one died and one was in bad shape. So this is a group of them. And then here we go, Mothers Against Drunk Drivers. They have a different viewpoint maybe than all of us. So we have to think about their different viewpoints. There are different things going on. There are different reasons people are not maybe following the law. So we have to kind of think of that as we look at how we're going to formulate our streets to be safe. How do we change that reputation? We have to know why people are doing this, why are they getting injured, and what can we do to help them. Okay, so who's walking and biking on Fletcher Avenue? I don't have much time, so I made a few slides to show you what some of our preliminary research has shown. We went out and we did observations on the street and surveys. I think we went out for a week and just did 3 hours each day, and there were about 850 observations, but just to give you an idea, because this makes a difference when you're trying to figure out what to do. Most of them were males, 389 were males, 195 females that were pedestrians. Of the bicyclists, 18 female, 222 male. Wheelchairs, 17, one was female, so mostly high percent of males are out there on that street. 41% live over 1 mile away from Fletcher. Within a half mile, 47%, a half to 1 mile, 12%. So maybe this is going to help us figure out how to reach the population that's using that street as bike ped. So why are they there? I mean, we need to know that, right? And a lot of times we don't know. Why are people walking on this street? So the highest percent, 36%, are going to retail, 15% for errands. I mean, you can see the difference. 6.9 healthcare, work 11.6, 7.5% bus stop, exercise 5.8%, and other, a lot of different reasons that they may be going. So it's really important to understand why people are walking and biking, because most of these people are doing it quite a few times a day, and we have other stats, but I just chose a few to show you. So that's part of our formative research project. We hope to identify a behavior that is causing the crashes, and then to figure out why they're doing it and how we can help them not do it. And it may not be we're going to do a marketing campaign to everyone, right? It's okay if you pick a target market and just look at that, because that's the only way I think we're going to reduce our fatalities and injuries, is we're really going to have to figure out why it's happening and then what we can do to fix it. Okay, I'm going to give you a quick overrun so you know of what we're doing for Walkwise and Bike Smart. It's really grassroots, so we'd love all of you to be one of our ambassadors and to really help us spread the word about pedestrian and bicycle safety. We've given over 1,600 presentations, over 25,000 ambassadors. We put their names on the list. And why do we make them ambassadors? There's a reason for that. They take the pledge. So we go out, and again, I'm picking on Jason here. He can tell you it's a lot of work to go give the presentations. You have everything with you. Projector, laptop, audience response system. We collect data at every presentation. We have all kinds of safety handouts, and we really talk to people about how they feel about being a pedestrian or a cyclist. This is just one of the tips we talk about. How many of you seen people doing this, even on their bike, right? So always be alert, never text or talk on your phone while crossing a road. This is a crosswalk actually on the campus of USF in front of Cutter, which I cannot get across that crosswalk. I mean, it's a very difficult crosswalk to cross. No one stops for you. We use an audience response system, so we're gathering data. We're showing if we're actually measuring if we're educating them. So what's the retention? Are they learning from what we're going out and teaching them? Because it's difficult to measure other aspects of the safety. So we're trying to just measure, are we educating them? So here's a question. One of the questions, when sidewalks are not available, you should. Here's a sample. They get to see the results instantly, so they love this presentation. It's like they're in a game show. They're clicking. It really helps the presentations. They love it. So this was a pretty good audience. A lot of times that's an equal split, or depending on the group, lower. It is legal for bicyclists to ride on a roadway with traffic. We talk about bike safety, which way should you ride, and we hear a lot of reasons why people just, even though they know the law, will not ride with traffic. So we try to talk to them about it. We try to show them why that's unsafe. They got 85% on this one for that group. We talk about it, a crosswalk with a pedestrian signal. You can start crossing with which of the following signals. Most of them know this. Whether or not they do, it's another question, but they do know. And then we do the pledge. So everyone raises their hand and takes a pledge. And so they love that. It gets grins and laughs. And Karen, she's smiling because she also teaches this. And don't you love to have them take the pledge? Yeah, they like the pledge, and then they get their reflective items. There's actually a reason why we do a pledge. Social marketing research has shown that if you take a pledge, you're actually more likely to do what you pledged, right? Maybe if you just walk away and don't take a pledge, you're going to think, well, I just listened to that. But sometimes when you take a pledge, research has shown. So some of the findings, I'll just go through these quickly because I can see my time is almost out. Just for an example, 65% answered incorrectly, and then 90% answer correctly after the presentation. And again, for the bicycling, 42%. This was one about sidewalks. I just chose some random questions, but afterwards, 93% answered correctly. We asked this through a survey afterwards, and everyone who takes our online survey gets a free t-shirt. But this one asked them, I thought this was very important because it asked them, now that I took a pledge, and this is an online survey, are you going to spread the word? You can see 61% said strongly agree and 33% said agree. So, even in the privacy of their home, taking it, a large amount showed that they would actually do that. So anyway, I think I'm almost perfect on my time. I know I went quickly through that. What's that? Okay, great. So those are just two of my projects. I think we can make an impact. I think we can make our state better, but it's going to take all of you. So I have one question for you. How many of you, when you're out there, see cyclists riding without their lights on their bike, lights on their bike? A lot of you. Okay, let's see. I'll pick on you because you won't go on Fletcher. If you see someone, would you give them a bike light if you had one, or do you feel like you wouldn't be able to do that?
I might feel a little weird doing it. Depends if they're actually stopped there, I might, yeah. If they were actually stopped, then I don't know if I would stop them from riding.
And stop them from riding? Okay. Would anybody here do that? Would anybody feel like they could? Okay. Keep your hands raised because you're gonna have to report back to us. I have 3 really nice bike lights. But see, you're looking like you're keeping it for yourself. No. This is a pay it forward, right? Pay it forward. Would you give it to someone? It's a really good bike light. It's not the $2 bike light. And it goes on easily. You don't have to have a screwdriver like we had on the other ones.
You want us to report it?
I want you to tell Tim. Tell him if you did it and let us know, because we had a group who wanted to do this once. They wanted to pay it forward. They wanted to have some lights, and they wanted to give it. So I'm seeing if you'll do it. You look like you're honest. You'll do it.
I can do that.
How about you? Will you do it?
Yes, I will.
Okay, so we have 3 people who are going to pay it forward, and when they're out there, they're going to talk to somebody about safety and give them a light, maybe help them put it on their bike. That's what our enforcement's doing. They're putting bikes on lights. 16,000 lights are out there. So, my programs, I'm fortunate because they are about really talking with people and helping people and trying to get them safe and really looking at it in a way that helps them, not just by how I think. And the photos were meant to get you thinking about, we have our perceived notions as cyclists, but what's really the reason why people are doing this? These are, you saw the numbers on how many, actually I didn't show you, but 70% of the people that we talked to they did not have access to a vehicle. So that is the only way they're getting around is on their bike. And so their exposure is high, right? Because they're out there riding and walking every day. So those are the people that we want to talk to and help because their exposure is so high and they may not have bike lights, they may not know the laws. And so those are the people we're really trying to reach and hopefully will make an impact on our state's reputation. So that's all I have.
Thank you, Julie.